Just yesterday, SoFi closed and maintained above $25 a share. To many of us who have been investing in the single digits, that's amazing to see, and it's a reaffirmation of our bull case in the company. And in this video, I want to share some comments from the CEO around where they're headed and some Easter eggs that potentially were dropped. And I want to also talk about the PSUs that management has, just to remind everybody on what's upcoming for SoFi. There's a lot of things that are coming up ahead, and the stock is now closing at new all-time highs every single week, it seems, with this latest $25 milestone being the highest the stock has ever closed under the SoFi ticker symbol. And I think fairly soon we'll also be crossing the IPOE highs, and my price target for SoFi for this year is 28.50. I think we're even on track to be above that if the execution continues. Let's jump right in. So in this video, I want to cover some comments from the CEO around the direction of the company and the future of the company. We've been seeing a lot more communication from SoFi management team as we're crossing these thresholds. And I think that's also very encouraging to see because we want to have more information around the product roadmap. In fact, last night at the FinTech Friday, I mentioned that it would be amazing if we were to see a slide on their earnings reports where they show product updates and the progress towards product updates, and so that the market could see them more as a product company rather than just a bank. And especially because Anthony Noto is talking more and more about this mentality around the SoFi way and how they conduct business. So if he wants to really foster that ethos and that mantra and that culture, I think it would be great to see product updates on a regular basis to show the execution that is associated with that. Let me show you what I mean. So on X, Anthony Noto posted saying, could not be more excited about the impact of two technology super cycles, artificial intelligence and blockchain, that will reshape financial services as we know them. Nearly 8 years since joining SoFi, going from 625,000 members in 2018 to over 12 million members now. Their last earnings report was about 11.7. So obviously they're crossing the 12 threshold now. And roughly 250 million in revenue in 2018 versus 3 billion in revenue trailing 12 months. It still feels like we're just getting started. He is still as enthusiastic as ever, with the stock being at all-time highs. We're hiring aggressively and are looking for the best of the best in areas of AI, crypto, blockchain, and payments, and any great leader that has the range of working on startup type products, businesses, to scaling beyond rapid growth to durable compounded decades of growth. And because he's talking about AI, crypto, and blockchain, immediately my mind goes around new product lines in those respective verticals. We don't know much about crypto yet, right? We know that they have a wait list. We know that there's international remittance and all of this that's going to be powered off crypto. There was even crypto news this week, but we really don't know what their plan is and what their roadmap is with crypto, other than what they've mentioned in the past. In the earnings calls, they've mentioned that they want to do stable coins. They've mentioned that they want to do crypto-backed loans. They've mentioned that they want to do so much more and become a leader in crypto. And it seems that the CEO, Anthony Noto, especially now with the legislation that is supportive of this, is talking more and more about SoFi becoming a bigger player in crypto and blockchain. And in this post, how I read it is he's talking about leadership from 0 to 1, which to me means that new product lines are on the horizon. If you are the best of the best and the SoFi way and the SoFi core values gives you chills or makes the hair stand up on your neck, then let's talk. So here is the SoFi way, which he talked about in the last earnings call around their ethos and their mantra. He talks about the founder mentality, the problem solving, and obsessing around the needs of their clients. Stuff like this is fairly common for companies to build a culture of execution. And I think it's great that SoFi is labeling this and weaving it into their company culture, because much of that comes top down. And so it's really amazing to see where new hiring decisions are then going to be held against this standard of, are we hiring people that fit this ethos or this mantra that we want to facilitate for growth in the future? I responded to this post twice. And the first time I said, today, SoFi CEO hits step one of his PSUs. It needs to hold an average $25 for 90 days before June 1st, 2026. The performance stock units are something that management has been working towards. This is a post from Kyle, who just checked off the $25 target for Noto, Chris Lapointe, and Derek White. And you can see what they unlock here if the stock maintains a $25 average for 90 days. So just because they hit it on Friday doesn't mean that it's automatically unlocked. They have to maintain it for 90 days before June 1st, 2026. And right now, this is just a start. And that's what Anthony Noto is also saying here. He's looking forward into the future, the money that they raised a couple of weeks ago, and the direction that they're going into crypto, and all of the details that they gave around SoFi Invest product innovations that are coming over the next 2 quarters. Those are all working together around SoFi seemingly going on the offensive for how they're going to compound that growth even further. AI and blockchain, I said, is going to play a big role in SoFi's future. I can't wait to get more details. And so basically, my call is this: show us product innovations roadmap on earnings calls going forward. I think Robinhood particularly does a great example of this because immediately they talk about product velocity here and they show all of the things that they've done, acquisitions that they made, expansions that they had in their product, and they split it all across their different business lines, which you can see here. I think if SoFi were to do something like this, where on one slide they show us SoFi Invest alongside crypto and alongside the broker side of the business, and maybe they show us loan platform business and they show us the technology platform even around signing new clients, I think that would go a long way to changing the perception to SoFi being a product first company. And quite frankly, I think it would support this SoFi way ecosystem because it gets more people excited around being involved with a fast growing company that you can actually pinpoint all of their product innovations in a visual way that's consistently reiterated across multiple earnings. Now, with regards to these PSUs, adding check marks beside them, I think is a little bit premature and it will be dilutive once they do unlock these tranches. Personally, I hope they go all the way to $45 for max dilution because if they do go all the way to $45, no investor is going to be complaining because you got a multi-bagger off of SoFi for a few percentage points of dilution. It's not really going to be a big deal. And this is the reward that management gets for consistently executing. So it's very well deserved. And what we want as investors is we want management's incentives to be aligned with our incentives so we all win together. And this is exactly how that's done. So of course, SoFi has to maintain this range and even climb higher before June of 2026. So I think that $45 before June of 2026 is definitely what management is going to be gunning for. Whether they can do it or not, I think is TBD, but this is exactly the way that I would approach it, where they're re-accelerating their growth. They're going back into the offensive. Now, the second thing that I want to mention in this video seems to be an Easter egg that Anthony Noto might have dropped here. And I retweeted this for a second time. And I said, hey, look, it's really interesting because in this photo, look who's tagged. You got Chamath, who initially did their SPAC merger. You got Wyndham Clark, who they sponsor and are partnered with. You got Kelsey Ballerini, who is the same as Wyndham Clark. And then you have Josh Allen. And that's strange. Josh Allen is not one of SoFi's partners. They have Justin Herbert on the NFL side. And so it's really interesting that Josh Allen is also tagged by Anthony Noto here. And I said tongue in cheek here, who wants to put a side bet that they announce a partnership with Josh Allen as early as next week? Because I think that's the next step. Anthony Noto has done Easter eggs like this in the past. And I love it every time that he does it. And I think that would be a really exciting thing, especially with the new NFL season now starting, if they do a partnership with Josh Allen, because he's one of the most recognizable and popular names in the sport. And we were having a conversation about this last night on the SoFi Weekly. And I even, opened this article. This was basically an ESPN survey of the NFL executives, coaches, and scouts for their ranking of the top 10 quarterbacks for 2025. And of course, at number one over here, you have Patrick Mahomes, who, of course, is going to be number one. But look who's number two, Josh Allen, right? So I think Josh Allen having a partnership with SoFi is going to be really amazing. Justin Herbert here is number 7th. And so if SoFi partners with a quarterback that's number 2 and possibly even gunning for number 1 this year, I think that's going to be really amazing. And just continuing that trend of accelerating their brand awareness and accelerating their member growth even further. So we're going to see if that news actually materializes. But other than that, I mean, I can't see another reason why Anthony Noto would tag Josh Allen here. So that's going to be really exciting as well. And so I think the whole moral of the story is that it seems as though SoFi is going on the offensive with all the posts that they're making. It seems that the confidence is renewed in management with this whole SoFi way mantra coming out. The fact that we're now getting product updates, the fact that we're getting a lot more around AI and blockchain that they're calling out for hires. All of this is really encouraging to see from an investor perspective. And it comes at a time when the stock is at all-time highs and I think can go much higher because there's so many catalysts for SoFi right now in terms of their growth and compounding that growth further. I recently closed all my covered calls when the stock fell a couple of days ago back to $21. That was the golden opportunity for me to do that. I wrote in the money cash secured puts as well. And I closed those off in 2 days because those were very profitable for me. And so now I have my full SoFi position and I'm not really doing anything with it. I'm just here locked and loaded and seeing what management does and trusting in management to continue to execute and work towards those $45 tranches for their PSUs, which quite frankly, I think they're going to hit by June of 2026. And if they do, then that's going to be very, very profitable for all of us. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's see if they actually do a partnership with Josh Allen. That's going to be amazing to see. And if they do, I'll be talking about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.